Social family. So now we're wondering, how do we navigate these Memorial Day discussions? And if you're one of our notary loan signing agents, you're wondering, how do we navigate this in the closings? I had a couple of very interesting situations today that we had to really work through. And the bottom line is, it's not time to hide from these discussions anymore. It's not time to avoid them. It's not time to paint the opposing side, wherever you stand, as horrible or crazy or awful. It's time to come together, to create solutions, and to figure out why our country is in the situation it's in and what to do about it. So the first thing I would recommend is that you set boundaries in advance. I did a short reel that synopsized all of this. But when we set boundaries in advance, it lets people know, look, you can take this off the table. You don't even need to worry about it. Send a text or send an email, or even have a discussion where you say, I can't wait to see you. I'm so excited for the weekend, but I am still feeling really raw and emotional about all the discussions around the school shooting this week. And so I'd really like to just not talk about politics and enjoy each other, especially your delicious dinner and cooking and each other, because I've missed you so much. However you want to phrase it, make it clear. If you don't want to discuss it, make sure that you make that clear in advance. There'll always be people that want to, have you take the bait and push you a little too far, right? But hey, I wore the Seattle Seahawks shirt on purpose because those sorts of discussions can kind of get heated too. Usually it's kind of a faux heated. So that's my second piece of advice, is if somebody just can't seem to let go, keep your boundary. It's okay to say, I love you, but I don't want to talk about this. We can disagree on things like the Seahawks versus the Eagles, but I just made that up. But I don't want to talk about this. I want to talk about what you've been doing this past year. So be ready to pivot, be ready to move those discussions aside. And there are certainly people in your orbit whom probably aren't in a position to really move into a deep, meaningful, helpful discussion, especially if you want to have a light and easy holiday. If you have that privilege and you want to protect your peace, I want to encourage you to do that. Last but not least is if you do have somebody that you want to have the discussion with, or that wants to have the discussion with you to the extent that you're willing to go that extra mile. And I want to encourage every single one of us, regardless of where you stand on these issues, to stop demonizing the other side. Stop name calling right now. Stop judgment right now. Set it all aside. Open your hearts, open your ears, and open your mind, because this isn't going to win and this isn't going to win. And we're talking about the lives of our children. This is where we're going to win, is when we come together from opposing sides, when we all make some sort of concession, and where everybody agrees to something that will help move our country forward. Those discussions could be difficult but fruitful, right? Hard conversations. We've all heard about those. And one of the people who I would recommend you follow is Carlos Whitaker. One of the things I love the most, not about his position on this issue, I actually don't know what that is, and I haven't looked at his stories today, but his issue around difficult discussions are that we can't stand on issues. We have to walk with people, because people are the only way we're going to come together and make the difference that needs to be made. And so I, for one, am going to do that. I promise. In the past, I have certainly been like, oh, I know what he thinks. There's no point in discussing it. Even though I may respect it, I may not discuss it. But I, for one, am going to take my own advice and work on doing that too. I would also recommend you follow Sharon Says So if you'd like to learn more information about what the actual laws in our country are, how laws are made, how decisions are made, and how we can influence our lawmakers, regardless of our stance, to hear our voices in our different districts and areas, so that we can get in touch with the people who are making the decisions and make our voices heard. That's one of the strongest aspects of our country, is that we do have representatives that are accountable to us. We can vote them in, we can vote them out. We can donate to them, we cannot donate to them. And so this is a moment to make your voice heard. She shares information on how to connect with people. She gives you advice on what to say and how you'd like to say it. Because again, as I said last night, I know nobody thinks that what's happening is okay. And we all need to start from that position. We all need to start knowing that there's no one in this country who thinks that what happened is okay. And now what do we do about it? That's the goal. So as you move into Memorial Day weekend, I hope you're taking the actions we talked about. I hope you're ready to set and hold boundaries, or maybe have those difficult discussions after all. No matter what you decide, I'm cheering for you. I'm thinking about you, and I want you to know that everybody is feeling like you're feeling: frustrated, sad, overwhelmed, angry, fearful, concerned. What about our country? You're not alone. And that's the magic. That's where we're going to come together to make this better, you and me together. Because regardless of what you think, I respect you and I want to hear what you have to say. So move forward with that in your heart, truly in your heart. Make that your mission, to serve and to connect, to listen and to come to understanding, so we can all be on the same page as we move forward protecting our kids. I hope the rest of your night is light and easy. I hope you have an amazing day. And if you enter these discussions in a professional setting, I obviously recommend the same things, especially just the boundaries and the redirections, because work really isn't the place, depending on what you do for a living, for these topics to be discussed. Have an amazing night, and I'll see you back here tomorrow, live around